Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most important muscles that not enough people are talking about, especially in the fitness industry, and that is the diaphragm, the respiratory diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscle in your abdomen, and let me bring out my complete anatomy app again. It is right here. It's a dome-shaped muscle. You can see there, it goes along the complete rib cage on the bottom here. And there's actually two, so this may look like one muscle just the way it's situated here, but you can think of it as two because these two hemispheres, that'd be the left side and the right side, they can operate independently because of the positioning of the rib cage in relation to the pelvis and the lumbar spine. Now, what often happens is our right diaphragm will often be very strong, very good at breathing. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but our diaphragm is our main respiratory muscle. So when we take a big breath in, our lungs expand, the diaphragm actually moves down to allow space for the lungs to expand. The lungs would be here above it, right here in the empty part of the rib cage. So when you breathe in, the diaphragm goes down, flattens so that the lungs can get big and take in a lot of oxygen. And when you breathe out, the diaphragm will dome up. So the way it's shown right now, this is actually a domed up diaphragm. So this would be more what it looks like at the end of an exhale. That's what it looks like. Now, why that's important is because when that diaphragm isn't working well, and again, you can really think of the diaphragm as two separate muscles, the left and the right. What often happens, because that right diaphragm is so much stronger and better at helping you breathe, the left diaphragm is actually smaller anatomically and becomes weaker, and it's not as good at helping you breathe. So we end up really utilizing this right diaphragm more to inhale and exhale. The left diaphragm gets kind of weak and atrophied. And imagine if you just never used your left bicep over the course of 10 years, that left bicep is going to be pretty much useless. So you're just going to always want to use your right arm. Why does that matter? Because that diaphragm also controls how your skeleton and your rib cage moves, and also how your pelvis and rib cage move together because of its attachments, again, to your rib cage and to your lumbar spine. So when you got one side, your right side, that's always working, always doing all the work of controlling your rib cage and even positioning your lumbar spine and pelvis, this left diaphragm's just kind of hanging out doing nothing, you're going to get a lot of overuse on this right side of your body. And you're going to get a lot of underuse on the left side of your body, especially your left abdominals. And that again matters because we don't realize we're walking around with these like left to right asymmetries, these huge compensatory muscular patterns that literally every breath you take, sorry about that singing, every breath you take, you're overusing this one muscle and underusing this other muscle. So we end up kind of get stuck in this pattern where we're actually rotated a little bit, we're twisted, and we go through life with this. And because we're not using both sides of our body very equally, we get a lot more wear and tear on different muscles and joints because, again, we're overusing some and underusing others. So because our body's not being utilized evenly, you're going to get joints that are going to wear down more because we're just relying on our right side so much. And the left side, maybe we're like out of position, so we could have like left knee pain or even left shoulder pain. It can influence your entire body. So again, I'm not going to get into the solutions because it's there's a lot to talk about there, but just know that if you kind of have these weird mysterious aches and pains and they always seem to happen on one side of the body, it could be because you've got this imbalanced diaphragm that's doing too much work on one side and not enough work on the other, and your body's trying to compensate and rotate and counter rotate for that, and it's causing a lot of wear and tear and muscle and joint issues because of it. So again, if you got questions for this, leave a comment. We'll try to answer them there if you do leave a comment, because I really do want to help people understand this stuff, but I know it's complicated. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. See you in the next video.